Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Happy Memorial Day. I hope you are all enjoying your extra day off. If you are here watching this video, maybe you're like me and you are itching for the stock market to open up. So in today's video, we're going to do our Sunday technical analysis. We'll review all the futures contracts, see where we are, maybe what we can expect next week, and then we'll go over a few stocks that I'm watching. So before we get into this, make sure to scroll down, press that like button. It helps out the video and the channel a ton, helps me continue to grow this channel. Subscribe to the channel if you want to stay tuned for some future videos. Make sure to press that bell notification so that you guys know when I go live every single morning at 8 a.m. in the pre-market and every single time that I post a video on the channel. So guys, these Sunday videos sometimes get a little bit long, so let's just go ahead and dive right into the charts here. The first one that we're going to be looking at is the NASDAQ futures. So first off, let me take off this open interest line for us to clean this up a little bit. So here we go. Here is the NASDAQ futures. Now, the first thing that we have to look at is the uptrend, right? So we're on the uptrend. We've continued to hold the uptrend. That is a bullish thing. That is a positive. But one thing that we have to be aware of is the resistance above. There is very heavy resistance. If you've been tuning into the channel, you probably already have heard me say this. But to anyone new, you need to be aware of the resistance above. Where I say that, or why I say that, is because if we look at this area, I'm going to turn this red for us, and this will act as a pretty strong supply zone on the NASDAQ. So I'm going to turn this transparent, and we will look at why I put this little zone here. So first off, we have resistance here back in February. We have that resistance turning into support here back in April. We have it turning into resistance once again in May. And now in late May, early June, it is turning into resistance once again. So if we break this down to the shorter term time frames, let's say the 5-day, 5-minute, what you guys will see is that the entire week of last week, we tried to break above this red area and we failed every single day. This is the 24th, this is the 25th, the 26th, the 27th, and the 28th. All these days, all 5 days in a row, we basically moved sideways on the NASDAQ, which is definitely a sign of heavy resistance up here in this red area. Every single time that we touched it, we found some nasty rejection. On Friday, it looked like we were maybe trying to make that move, and we quickly got rejected again and moved lower off of that level. So it is clear, very clear, that we need to be aware of this level above this 13,700. Anywhere from 13,700 to 13,800 is very difficult. Now, this can tell you one of two things. Either we can say that the market is setting up for another leg higher, and when we break above this level, it will be a very nice rally. Or we need to think that maybe this is a top. Maybe we start to see a little bit of a pullback down to these moving averages, maybe even down to this trend line. So basically right now the market is in indecision. And this indecision is making me not want to set up some big swing trades because I don't know where we're going to go. But watching this video, you need to be aware of that level, and I'm trying to just go ahead and let you guys know that there is a heavy, heavy level there. If we look down at the MACD and the RSI, it makes me turn a little bit more bullish that maybe we still have some more potential upside. The reason I say that is because you can see the MACD crossover here, which has turned bullish. The last time we had this MACD crossover was right around this choppiness, this indecision, and it caused a pretty nice big rally here up to all-time highs on the NASDAQ. We're starting to get that MACD crossover right now, so maybe we still have some gas in the tank to the upside. The other thing that you'll see is we're still in about the middle of the RSI. RSI is sitting around 54, so we're not oversold and we're not overbought, which means we can still have some more gas in the tank as well. The last time we started to stall out here on the NASDAQ near these all-time highs, the RSI was basically at that overbought level of 70. So right now we're sitting at around 54. So these two indicators obviously give me some bullish insight, but I'm not going to go ahead and trust them 100% and say that I definitely know we're going to go higher from here. But this is just an overall look of the NASDAQ. We're in a difficult spot. We have a lot of heavy supply zones above us, and our MACD and RSI are showing about neutral at this point. So next week will be crucial. If we can get through this supply zone, great. We can probably see some bullish momentum. If not, we may start to see a little bit of slippage off this level, and maybe we'll find some support near these moving averages. So that is my review on the NASDAQ. If you want to get another update on these every single day, what I'm seeing on the NASDAQ, make sure to tune into the live streams every single morning. The next one we're going to look at is the Dow. Here is the Dow. the Dow was actually able to get through its supply zone. So there's a supply zone on the Dow as well, and we're going to look at that right now. So let's go ahead and look at the Dow here on the daily. Let's make this look pretty good for us. And what we'll notice is the first thing that I'm sort of looking at here is the MACD is actually starting to turn positive here. So we're starting to get that crossover on the Dow, and we're also around 56 on the RSI. So that's about where we are with the MACD and RSI. Similar to the NASDAQ, we're starting to get that bullish crossover on the Dow. So looking at the Dow daily here, what you guys will notice is we had this very similar resistance area around this 34,400. So if I go down to the 5-day 15, you guys will see that we had a little bit of struggle here around this 34,480 area. So we hit it here, found resistance, we broke through, found a lot of resistance, and on this day, this was on the 27th, we did get through, but we sold right back under this resistance. So that resistance is still there. That supply zone is still there, and it's acting as a very heavy area for us to hold above and for us to get through. So if we go, maybe let's check out the hourly chart. We can see this even better. So here we go on the hourly on the Dow. I'm going to clean this up just a little bit. We're going to keep the red supply zone that I've been looking at here. And what you guys will notice, we did bounce very nicely on this double bottom on the Dow, right around 33,600. We've sort of been trading in this channel, and every single time we touch the top of this little resistance area, 1, 2, and now 3, we got through but sold back under. This will definitely be an important level around this 34,400 to 34,500. So let's go ahead and watch that level. We're getting close to all-time highs on the Dow, but we are a little bit more bullish. I can see if we look at the daily, we're a tad more bullish here on the Dow than we are on the NASDAQ. We're pretty close to all-time highs, just about from this point, just about 1.5%. So the Dow's looking good. As long as we hold above this 20-day, I am going to continue to be bullish. You have this heavy support here around 3,400, and then you have this heavy resistance around right here around this 34.7. So you have this channel that we are trading in right now. So Dow, let's watch that supply zone, 34,400, 34,500. If we can get through and hold above that next week, great. If not, maybe we sell off down to this 20-day. So that is the Dow. Let's go ahead and get into the S&P. S&P, very strong supply zone up here as well. You can see the MACD is starting to do that bullish crossover. RSI sitting around 55, so very similar for all three indices. But what you'll notice is we have this previous resistance turning into resistance once again here around 4,200. If we go to the hourly chart and we zoom out, we can see that this 4,200 level is pretty tough. So we hit it back here. This is on the 3rd of May. We got through it around the 10th of May, but quickly sold off after reaching above it. We tried to hit it again over here around the 25th of May, and now we moved past it here on the 28th on Friday, but we did sell right back under it. So this level, this 4,200 level, is going to be very tough resistance on the SPY, and it's a level that we need to watch into next week. So to quickly recap and summarize what I talked about in those last three parts, those last three indices, basically all you want to take away is that you need to remember that that resistance is there above on all three, on the Dow, the NASDAQ, and the S&P. If you're putting on bullish trades without even remembering that that resistance is there, you may come into some choppiness and you may lose on your trades. Make sure to remember the resistance is there when you are trading into next week. Watch those levels. If we can start to break through, maybe we see a lot of momentum to the upside. But make sure you're watching those before you take any trades. Make sure that is in the back of your head as you approach next week. All right, guys, so the first stock that I want to go over with you today is Royal Caribbean. Now, this is one that you may not look at much. This is not really a very highly traded stock, but this looks like a great setup to me. You may have seen this on the channel so far. Maybe you haven't. Maybe you follow the Options Insider Instagram, and maybe you've seen my setup there. But this is the weekly chart on Royal Caribbean. I'm going to continue to show you this because I think it continues to be a really nice setup. 1 bounce, 2 bounces, 3 bounces off this heavy trend zone or trend line. And this is on the weekly chart. So each candle is a week of price action, meaning that these levels are very strong. So we know that these 3 support bounces are very strong on Royal Caribbean. And every single time we've broken out of somewhat of a bull flag. So a flag here, and we've broken out of it once again last week. So last week, we have this flag breakout right here on Royal Caribbean. I personally believe we'll continue to try to grind higher after this breakout and hit this $100 level. The reason I like 100 is because that is where we traded before the virus came out, before we had this big sell-off. So I definitely expect some resistance here around $100 a share. But this flag breakout on the weekly chart looks fantastic. And I think if the Dow can continue to be strong into next week, it has been slightly outperforming, Royal Caribbean should benefit from that. So let's watch Royal Caribbean. MACD starting to curl higher. The last time we turned red a few days, you can see right here, or a few weeks, since each one of these is a week of price action. We turned red a few weeks right here. We got that bullish crossover, which was right here on this bull move, and we're starting to get that bullish crossover on RCL, and maybe we get that bull move up to $100 a share. Looking very, very good here. Let's break this down to the daily chart. Here's the daily chart. You can see that the patterns are pretty similar here. So you can see bull flag breakout. We got a flag pattern. We're breaking out of it right now. RSI turning very, very positive here. You guys can see the last time we got that positive move on the RSI, we got this very consistent on the MACD, we got this very consistent uptrend right here. So let's see. RCL, I think, is setting up for a nice move here up to that $100 a share. Let's see what happens. It could always pull back and present maybe even a better buying opportunity, but over the next few weeks, make sure to watch this chart. All right, number 2 is Boeing. You've probably heard me talk about this quite a bit as well, but I think I need to continue to show this because this is continuously a very, very good setup here. This may look very similar to Royal Caribbean because it really is about the same exact chart. So here is Boeing. You can see a bounce off the weekly, a bounce off the weekly, and another bounce off this weekly trend line right here on Boeing. We are finding some resistance on Friday and Thursday at this 20-day moving average. That's the 100-day moving average on the weekly. So we have some resistance right here at the 100-day moving average on the weekly chart, and I think that's why we started to sell off on Friday. So I think that's a temporary weakness there on Boeing, and I still believe there could potentially be upside here. You can see we had that very similar bounce like Royal Caribbean, and we have around this $320 level where it was pre-virus. So we have that pre-virus level here. We had the sell-off, and we are stair-stepping up the entire time since last year of March, and maybe this is the next stair step to the upside. If we get an upside move like we did back here, this was around 40%. So 40% takes us right almost to that $320 level, right around $315, $316. So if we get another 40% move on Boeing, we have a move up to this $315, $320 where I think we will definitely find resistance. But first, let's see if we can get above this 100-day on the weekly chart. That, I think, will be the key breakout. If we go down to the daily and try to get this a little bit more finite, we can see we had that beautiful bounce just like we did back here in early February, and we are starting to make our move higher. We got some resistance here on Friday. We pulled back just slightly, but let's see if we can continue, bounce off of this maybe 50-day on the daily, and continue up to that 320 area. I like Boeing. I like Royal Caribbean. These are two comeback stocks, two leisure stocks that could come back if the Dow continues to find strength and continues to outperform. All right, guys, number 3 is Snapchat. Snapchat had a beautiful bounce here. I mean, couldn't be any more perfect than this bounce that we had on Snapchat off this $50 support. We were watching Snap fall for the last few weeks down to this $50 support. What did it do? Like it has done 4 times in the past on this daily chart, it made a perfect bounce to the upside. Right now, almost 25% upside. We talked about this every single time on the YouTube channel, and also if I pull this up in the Discord, I'll show you guys what we were talking about in the Discord. So here you go, guys. Here's the Discord chat. This is the Desi TA section where every single day I post some of my technical analysis. And right here on the 18th of May, this was the Snapchat chart. We were watching this $50 support, a perfect bounce off this 50. And this is just sort of shows you how I do my technicals, using the daily, using the weekly, using those very, very strong support and resistance areas to find great buys. This was a great buy on Snapchat, and it was here on the 18th in the Discord. Here is the RCL trend also. So you can see this is the trend that we were calling out on Royal Caribbean, what we just talked about. And now you guys will see that we are well above this bull flag area. So some really nice plays here on Royal Caribbean. Here was Facebook. Here was Roblox. You guys know Roblox is in the mid 90s now. So some really great call outs. A quick plug for the Discord. If you guys want to join it, it's going to be the first link down in the description below. You're not just getting trade ideas. You're not just getting a community. You're also getting some awesome technical analysis for you guys to review on a daily basis. But back to the charts, back to this video. Snapchat, beautiful bounce. Why I'm bringing it up today is because we need to be aware of this heavy resistance in this 65 area. So let's turn this red. Let's make sure we know that this is resistance. And we need to be very, very aware of this. So turning this transparency down, here is the supply zone that we need to be aware of on Snapchat. This 64 and 65 area will be very tough. But if we get that breakthrough, I think you're going to get to all-time highs pretty quick. So let's see how we react next week in this 64 to 65 level. If the NASDAQ is strong, if it can get through that supply zone, I'm sort of betting that Snapchat will get through this supply zone as well. If we go to the weekly chart, we can actually see somewhat of a flag pattern forming here. So if we bring this chart, expand it a little bit, and we take a line from the highs here, maybe, just maybe, we are looking at a bull flag breakout here on Snapchat. You guys can see that with me there. You can see we're making lower highs, holding a very strong support, and maybe this is a bull flag breakout to the upside on Snapchat. Maybe it takes a few more weeks, something like this, and then we get that breakout. Who knows? Either way, the support at 50 was perfect on Snap, and we need to be aware that this could break this 64 to 65 level in the next few coming weeks. So guys, number 4 is BIDU, BIDU. BIDU had a very, very heavy sell-off from the highs, 354 highs. We are now sold off from the lows, about 50% of a sell-off. RSI went into that nice blue area, very, very oversold, around 28, 25, and the MACD also sold off as well. MACD on the daily is starting to turn positive. You're starting to get that bullish crossover right now. Where you got support, I think, is very crucial. So if we bring this back all the way to December of last year, we have this very nice demand zone that held once again on BIDU. So if we bring this down, we have a nice demand zone back from December, and we're holding it right now in late May. So we got that beautiful bounce, 1, 2, another bounce here, and a third bounce here on BIDU. And maybe, just maybe, you are starting to get this push off this demand zone. So looking at this chart, big sell-off, nice pullback, nice discount, pulling back to this very strong area around 185. You do have some moving averages above, some resistance to be aware of, but this is a nice long-term play in my opinion. Maybe some leaps, maybe 6 months out, 3 months out, trying to buy this dip here on BIDU. You have resistance at 205, that is for sure. You guys can see previous resistance turning into support, support will turn into resistance here when we try to hit that 205. So let's see what happens when BIDU hits 205. Nonetheless, a beautiful pullback, a great support bounce here around 185, MACD turning positive, and maybe we start to push back up to this 228, 230 level. If we go to the weekly chart to see how this looks on the weekly, what you guys will notice, we have a beautiful, beautiful bounce off the 50-day moving average on the weekly. So right here, yellow line, 50-day moving average, bounced right off of it and pushing higher after holding this 185 demand zone. Very nice. So let's see, can BIDU crack this downtrend, start to find support here at 185, and curl back higher into this 230 resistance? Make sure to watch BIDU in the next coming weeks. So guys, number 5, a stock that has broken my heart over the last few months, and that is PENN National. I am a very, very big PENN National bull. I love sports betting. I like the opportunity of it into the future, and I love how PENN is taking advantage of it. We did get a pretty nice sell-off from the highs, 142 all the way down to around 75, so about a 50% cut in the stock price. Now, the one thing that is making me fall back in love with this stock is where we are finding support on PENN National on the daily. Look at this perfect $75 support. We pulled back 50% and we are holding perfectly at these previous resistance levels that are now turning into support. This is a long-term break and retest, which is beautiful, and I would love to see PENN try to find some momentum off this 75. MACD turning bullish, RSI almost in that oversold area. So I think at this point, whether you catch this the right way or you lose some money on it, I think buying PENN down here at 75 is a win-win. You either have some short-term losses, but you know that you bought this at a great time for the long term, whether you're buying shares, buying leaps. I'm not saying this is a short-term play. I'm more thinking that this is a great discount on a stock after a 50% dip, oversold RSI, MACD turning positive with some very strong support here on the daily. I love this 75 area, and I've personally been buying shares myself. So let's go ahead and see what happens on PENN. Either way, nice support bounce on PENN, and I wanted to make sure you guys are aware of this. If we go to the weekly, we will see on the same page here, beautiful breakthrough of that 75 back in December of last year, 50% pullback, and last week was the first green week in 3, 6, 7 weeks. 7 weeks of straight down. This was the first week in 7 weeks that we got a green week on PENN National. Let's see if we can continue this momentum, and let's see if PENN can try to push back up to those $100 levels. All right, guys, so that is going to wrap it up for today's video. I hope you enjoyed some of those stocks that I put in front of you. I'm not saying they're a buy. I'm not saying they're a sell. I'm just showing you the technical analysis. Please do your due diligence. Please look at the charts that I have shown you. See what you like, see what you don't like. Overall, I'm just here to share with you some charts, putting some stocks in front of you if you guys don't have the time to do it yourself, and I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you appreciate it. If you enjoyed today's video, smash that like button for me. It'll help out the channel grow greatly. Subscribe for some future videos. If you want to check out the Discord chat where I trade live every day, post technical analysis, post stocks that I'm watching, and not only just me, there's 1,300 other people sharing their trades, sharing analysis, sharing motivation, and it's very, very nice to trade with them on a daily basis. It's $19.99 a month. It's probably the cheapest Discord that you guys are going to find on the market, and I'm not just here to BS you. It's a nice community. If you guys don't like it, you can leave at any time. So feel free to check that out. I hope you do, and I hope to see you in there. With that said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Good luck next week trading, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.